Babe, 10 minutes a week. Taiwanese brings you confidence. This is Max Juan speaking from Taiwan. This is episode 15 on the podcast channel Taiwanese Storyteller, the world's first podcast to speak Taiwanese and English. The book I'm going to share to you today is called Black Stories. This book has 5 authors. They are 5 talented Taiwan young people. I also went to their new book launch event and got the autograph of these 5 authors. They collect some horror stories and organize them for everyone. Actually, they have a website which is called Black Story. I hope that if you are interested, you can go to their website or buy books to support them. These stories are also related to Taiwanese life and culture. Although it's called horror stories, it also has strong Taiwanese style. Some stories are also funny and super cute. There are many stories in this book. I will choose some of them for you today. The first story is about a famous Feng Shui master in Taiwan, Lin Buansen's story. Lin Buansen was a famous Feng Shui master in Southern Taiwan. Feng Shui in Taiwanese is called Feng Shui. One day, he arrived at a location,高雄林園. He saw some farmers eating in the garden. When they saw Lin Buansen, they said, "Sir, let's eat together. We are very poor. There is nothing good to share. This bowl of sweet potato soup, I hope you will like it." Lin Buansen was very moved when he heard this. He found that there was no water source in the countryside. So he wanted to repay these farmers. He swung his sword in the air, and then he inserted the sword into a higher place of the edge of the field. The water spurted out of the soil, and Lin Buansen said to everyone, "Run, just run, everyone, and the water will go as far as you run." As everyone heard it, they ran around for several kilometers, until they couldn't walk anymore. Since then, the field was developed because of the irrigation of water. To thank Lin Buansen, the farmers also built a temple to worship him. However, Lin Buansen is a person who repays gratitude and revenge as well. Let's talk about story about Stinking Merton. Because of Lin Buansen's magic power, many people came to invite him to 看风水. Among them was a businessman whose name was Liao. Liao asked Lin Buansen to search a good cemetery for his family. One day when they came to the suburbs, Lin Buansen stopped suddenly. When he began to observe the terrain nearby, the businessman asked, "Sir, is this the right place?" At this time, Lin Buansen nodded slowly and said, "Yes, this is a wonderful Feng Shui. But this is in exchange for my blessing. If you promise to take care of me for the rest of my life, I will help you to get this Feng Shui." This businessman really wanted to get good Feng Shui to become rich, so he accepted all Lin Buansen's condition. It is really amazing that when the businessman buried the ashes of his ancestors in this cemetery, Lin Buansen's eyes were blinded. But the businessman's family really made a lot of money. They got a lot of wealth. The businessman was very happy and invited Lin Buansen to his house to treat Lin Buansen well. He knew that Lin Buansen liked to eat mutton, so he often asked his servant to kill sheep and cook mutton for Lin Buansen. But one day, when Lin Buansen was resting after eating mutton, the maid left and said to Lin Buansen, "You really enjoy the mutton, but you don't know the lamb you ate today was died in the cesspit, haha." Lin Buansen was very angry and shamed. A few days later, Lin Buansen told the businessman that he was going to repair the businessman's family ancestral grave. Otherwise, there would be strange noises at noon every day. And as a result, the businessman immediately sent someone to see it. Yes, they did hear strange noise beside the cemetery. So they asked Lin Buansen to deal with it. Lin Buansen used the tricks as we said before. He inserted the salt into the soil, and the water in the soil spurted out. Everyone thought it was amazing. Lin Buanzhen used this water to wash his face. Then his eyes were healed. But the Feng Shui of the Liao family was broken, and then he began to fail. There are many folk stories about Lin Buanzhen in Taiwan. The second story is related to Lü Dongbin. Lü Dongbin is a Chinese god of medicine, martial art, and wealth. And there is a toad hill near the Taipei city. Since the Qing dynasty, everyone feels that Toad Hill is really a giant toad. This monster often squirted venom, causing people to be sick, even die. It really caused great trouble. Lü Dongbin is a god, and he had to save suffering. One day, he heard the people sprinting, and went down to see what happened. Lü Dongbin saw this giant toad. Lü Dongbin immediately took out a sword and fought with the giant toad. In the end, Lü Dongbin used 10 Dun Giam Huan. In a short time, he conquered the giant toad. The toad has been there since then, and it became the Toad Hill. After subduing the giant toad, Lü Dongbin saw the beautiful scenery of Muzha, Baksa, and decided to go to Baksa to practice. So he jumped and left a big footprint on today's Xianjiyan. It is also one of the reasons for the origin of Baksa Zengong Liu. But the story is not over yet. Lü Dongbin just anchored the giant toad. In the Japanese era, in order to widen the road, the Japanese government cut off the hands and feet of the giant toad. People said that the giant toad cried for 3 days because it was painful. But on the other hand, nowadays, the Wenshan district and Xindian area can communicate with the traffic in Taipei today. It can be said that these folk stories are related to the development of the city and the lives of the people. At last, I would like to give you a bonus story. It is only for English version, so you guys are so lucky, right? It is a very famous story in Taiwan. It is called Hiba Ho Jiabo. The story starts from a group of anglers went fishing. When they caught the fish and were bringing it to eat, suddenly they found that the fish they were eating looked like an old woman. And then the old woman opened the mouth and asked, "Is the fish delicious?" It scared everyone to death in an instant, and the person who caught the fish died strangely no longer later. Although when we use English to say that, "Is the fish delicious?" this sentence sounds kind, even a little cute, and it also reminds me of a famous Taiwanese advertisement, 维大利 is good to drink, but seriously, it's really horrible when I heard it at 1995. I was just a kid, okay? At that time, every Taiwanese all knew about the story. This story took place in 1995. At that time, it was popular throughout Taiwan. It was reported by TV programs and news media. It caused fear among the people. It even caused the sales of the fish market dropped dramatically, and the aquaculture and fisheries even rise up to protest, asking for clarification of the nonsense. 20 years later, it was made into a Taiwanese movie, but the legend is exactly related to the process of Taiwan's high-speed industrialization. There are many rivers on the islands that have serious industrial pollution problems. The age when the fish with humankind face appeared. It happened that Taiwanese enjoyed the economic fruit of industrialization. Taiwanese were also aware of the disaster caused by the environmental pollution in the 1990s. In the 1990s, Taiwanese media often report that rivers were polluted by industrial wastewater, which lead to the sudden death and the disease of large number of fish. Farmers also often complain about the pollution of water source. The emergence of the abnormal fish is a reflection of Taiwan's people in pursuit of economic development and sacrificing environmental protection. Nowadays, Taiwan government and the public have become more concerned with the environmental protection and river improvement. We rarely hear such legend of the fish with human-like face, but we can also know that the so-called horror stories are not just horror stories. They reflect our lives, environment, culture, and history. Therefore, Black stories are not just Black stories, they are also Taiwanese stories. The above are 3 stories from the book Black Stories. I strongly recommend you to browse their website and give them some support. Thank you for listening today. Meet you on the air next time. Bye bye.